Well, we have the legs together on the side here. On the opposite side, we have the front and the back, pretty obvious which is which. So at this stage, I could go ahead and I could glue these together put the fronts on, and then put the backs on as well. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the guides for the drawers. Okay. So we have the table here with the opening that the drawer goes into, and then down here in these corners, we're going to have a piece that looks something like this. Okay, that piece is going to be this part here is going to be equal to what our rail is there. So it should be a 1/2 inch, but we're going to measure it and make sure. And it should come out enough that it sticks over and it provides a ledge for the drawer to run back and forth on. This thickness here should be exactly the thickness of what the inside is. So let's look over here. So what we're looking at here is, here's our front, right? So this thickness right here is the width of that one section up there, and it has to extend out from there. So let's do some measurements and see what this piece is going to have to look like. So first thing I'm going to do is, this rail here is where the drawer is going to fit in between. So the top of this is where the drawer sits on. So my guide has to be right here along with that edge there. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put my knife in here. I'm going to bring my square over to my knife in contact with it. And I'll go ahead and I'll scratch a line right there. I'll go over a little bit from there. Okay, so this line here is representative of where that drawer's got to slide back and forth into. Now I'll go ahead and I'll put my knife right there. And I'll set this up so that it's touching against, and I'll be able to describe this line down. So I'll set my knife in my mark that I made. Bring that there. Then draw that up. So that's where my lip has to be for the drawer to slide back and forth on, right? Here's the front, so the drawer's gonna slide back and forth. So that width right there is what I'm looking for here. So what is that? Let's hold that there. And it looks like a 1/2 inch is gonna be perfect for that. So I'll make sure it lines up perfectly with that, but 1/2 inch looks like it's right on the nose there. So 1/2 inch is what, go back and draw this now. A 1/2 inch is what this has to be. 1/2 inch. Now what does this have to be? That it comes over and it's going to have to stick out past this. So our piece is going to have to come out from this part here out here so that it can jut underneath here. So what we're looking at right here is about 3/4 of an inch right there. And I want about 3/8 to a 1/2 of an inch is going to be under the drawer. So I'm going to extend that by that much. So I'm going to go by a 1/2 inch. So 3/4 plus a 1/2 inch. Let's go to 1 1/4 inches. So we're going to make this 1 1/4, right? The length of this, we'll make it long. We'll just cut to length later on. So that's 1 1/4. That's 1/2 inch. What about this section right here? So remember, that part there has to be flush with the back here. So I said it was about 3/4, but we have to be a little bit more exact than that. 3/4 looks exactly like 3/4 right there. Maybe a little bit underneath. Maybe a little bit underneath. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to make the height of this. So this is a 1/2 inch here. And the part back there, I would have that be about a 1/2 inch also. So 1 inch. So this right here is going to be a 1/2 inch also. So 1 inch by 1 1/4 inch is what I need here. So let's go in the other room and see if we can find some material that's going to work for that. I have been cutting a lot of different things recently, so we probably have something back there that's going to work for us. I'm going to take my knife and my pencil, and I'll grab some glasses as well. 1 by 1 1/4. So I have some rough ash here, and it's definitely 1 1/4. I don't know that it's 1. Let me get something to measure that. So our thickness is about 1 1/8. And we want 1 by 1 1/4 for this. And the lengths are like probably about 14. So we don't have to get, we may actually have enough to get 2 out of each one, but I'm just going to do 2 separate pieces here. I'm going to set this back. So what has to be done with this? Well, we've got 2 rough faces here, right? We've got to join it, got to plane it to 1 inch. And we got to make sure the edge is jointed then also, and then rip it to 1 1/4. Okay? So next time I talk to you, I'm going to have these 2 pieces here jointed, planed, and cut to our 1 by 1 1/4.